In a world where the stars whispered secrets to those who listened, lived a man named Abraham Lincoln. Now you might know him from pictures as the tall man with the very high hat and the kind, crinkly eyes. But what most people don't know is that Abe's stovepipe hat wasn't just for keeping his head warm. It was actually a magical library. Whenever he tucked a piece of paper inside it, the hat would glow with a soft, golden light. One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees in Washington, D.C., Abe felt a strange tugging on his hat. He reached up, pulled it off, and whoosh! A swirling cloud of blue mist pulled him right inside. When Abe opened his eyes, he wasn't in his office anymore. He was standing on a mountain made entirely of sparkling glass. The sky above was a deep royal purple, and 3 giant figures sat on thrones made of clouds. They were the Greek gods. In the middle sat Zeus, the king of the gods, holding a lightning bolt that crackled like popcorn. To his left was Athena, who wore a shiny silver helmet and had a very wise-looking owl perched on her shoulder. "Abraham Lincoln," Zeus thundered, his voice sounding like a bass drum. "We have watched you from the stars. You are trying to bring people together, but the world is full of grumpy arguments. Why do you keep trying when things are so hard?" Abe stood up straight. Even though his knees were a little shaky, he adjusted his bow tie. "Well, Mr. Zeus," Abe said gently, "I believe that every person is like a single thread. One thread by itself can snap, but when we weave them all together, we make a blanket that can keep the whole world warm." Athena nodded, her owl hooting in agreement. "To build that blanket, you will need 3 special gifts," she said, "but you must travel through time to find them." Suddenly, the glass mountain vanished. Abe felt himself spinning until he landed in a bright, colorful place. It was the future. He was standing in a playground where the slides were made of rainbows and the swings flew right up into the clouds. He saw a little girl sitting on a bench, looking very sad. She had dropped her box of crayons, and they were scattered everywhere. Abe didn't hesitate. He knelt down, which was a long way down for a man as tall as him, and began to pick them up. "Don't worry, little one," he said. "Sometimes things fall apart, so we can learn how to put them back together." As he handed her the last crayon, it began to glow. It turned into a golden crayon. "This is the gift of kindness," the girl whispered. "You showed me that even the most important people in the world have time to be helpful." Abe tucked the golden crayon into his tall hat, and the mist swirled again. This time, Abe landed in a great forest. The trees were as tall as skyscrapers, and the leaves were made of silver. Walking through the woods was a giant lion with a thorn in his paw. The lion roared, "Who goes there? Are you here to trick me?" Abe walked right up to the lion. He didn't hide and he didn't run away. "I am just Abe," he said, "and I promise I will not hurt you. I am here to help, even if it's scary." Because Abe told the truth, the lion calmed down. Abe carefully pulled the thorn from the lion's paw. The lion let out a happy purr that shook the ground. From the spot where the thorn had been, a small, shimmering shield appeared. "This is the shield of truth," the lion said. "Because you were honest, you are protected. A person who tells the truth never has to remember a lie." Abe tucked the shield into his hat. He felt stronger already. For his final stop, the mist took Abe back to a very old time, long before he was born. He found himself in a small, dark cave. A group of people were huddled together, shivering because they were afraid of the dark night outside. Abe didn't have a match, but he had a story. He began to speak about a world where everyone was free, where children could play together, and where people were kind to their neighbors. As he spoke, his words began to sparkle. The warmth of his voice was so bright that a tiny candle appeared in his hand, lighting up the whole cave. "This is the candle of hope," the people said. "As long as you keep dreaming of a better world, the darkness can never win." The return to the White House. With a final pop, Abe found himself back in his office in Washington. His hat was back on his head, but it felt a little heavier now. He realized that he didn't need to be on a glass mountain or in a magic forest to use his gifts. He had the golden crayon of kindness in his heart, the shield of truth in his words, and the candle of hope in his soul. He sat down at his desk and began to write a very famous speech. He wrote about freedom and about being a new birth of freedom for everyone. Why Abe is a hero for you. Even today, when we see a penny or a $5 bill with Abe's face on it, we can remember his secret. Be kind. Help someone pick up their crayons. Be honest. Tell the truth, even when it's hard. Be brave. Keep hoping for a beautiful world, even when it's dark. Abe Lincoln showed us that you don't need to be a Greek god to change the world. You just need to be a good person with a very big heart, and maybe a very tall hat. And as Abe drifted off to sleep that night, the stars over the White House twinkled a little brighter, knowing that the great weaver was busy making a blanket of peace for everyone.